everybody. Welcome to the 144 Roundtable. We're back. We're live. We are ready for a really cool discussion tonight. And we had, what, about a month off, you guys? Is that what it was? Thank you all for taking the time, and thank you for coming back to have this discussion on the metaverse, the Omniverse, and what I'm calling the Quantumverse. So I guess what we're going to do tonight, it might be a little bit different. We'll see if we're going to be doing any, work on the grids or any kind of transmissions or anything like that. We'll see if Spirit wants that. But for right now, I really wanted to get into this because all you hear about now is the metaverse. And what is it? The Omniverse. And one thing that I've been led to, thanks to you for sending that, Michael, from Bitcoin Ben, there was a short video that Michael shared with us. And in just, I want to say the first minute alone, the fellow was talking about explaining how the internet is like two-dimensional. It's like 2D. It has text, it has photos, it has images, it has, email and all that. It's like two-dimensional. And if you were to put the internet in a 3D printer, you would have the metaverse, or what he's calling the Omniverse. And the metaverse is sort of like one of the universes that's going to be pulling everything together. Like they want to be location one. They want to have this world as their location one where all points of entry come to them. And they are like, the organic world of the digital world. So, and I'm bringing that up because in the Quantumverse, as I'm calling it, I like to say, like, if we were not if there was no digital, no AI, nothing like that, you would be in an organic world. And I'd like to keep things as organic as I can. I'd like to eat better organically, but I don't always do that. But in the organic world, it's light. But what I want to ask you guys is, do you think that light has AI technology and bots within the organic light? That's what I want to ask you guys. How do you feel about that? So jump in, because we want to start with that, because I do want to show a video and get into a deep discussion and everything, and crypto, how it all ties in. But I really want to see how you feel about the light we surrender to within ourselves, the true organic natural light. Do you think that is AI controlled or invaded or inhabited?
It depends what you mean by AI, I think, because if everything is consciousness, then even artificial intelligence is intelligence. And so when we say AI, it's why maybe some people say it's not so bad, it's not so good. Some people are, oh, it can really help the body and, certain ways repair the body. And I think that's true when it's done correctly. But if you don't learn the organic process, I feel like you're kind of missing out on the experience that you're meant to have. Sort of like, something bad happens, you accept it and you grow from it. And, instead of just trying to fix it. So I think, there's intelligence in it. If it's artificial or not, it depends, because if we go like way up to the creator, well, they created something and we're, so it's,
right.
Yeah, but as long as it's like your light and you really are, protect your light and you don't, nobody else's light, then it's okay, because it's the codes you need.
So sort of like you would be the creator of the AI. You would be the one writing the programs and controlling the intelligence within your own light fields,
Like our
right?
higher selves or our spirit selves
I like that.
giving codes to our bodies, where we wake up and we get intuitions. And so in a way, I think,
Interesting.
Yeah.
But not like nanobots, not the artificial intelligence, not the transhuman kind of technology. That's what I'm talking about.
Like you can turn it on with a button somewhere else. Like, no, you can only turn it on in here.
Right.
And
That's the point. That's what I want to make. Sarah, Sherry, do you guys feel anything about that? Or are you kind of right there?
No, I'm totally with Michael. I think that, like you had said, and Michael said, we're consciousness. So everything is us. Everything else, we are everything. So if that's, and we're all unique beings and we all possess this unique blueprint, then we're all creating different things. And so AI, both organically and inorganically, has been created by us. So it's all intermingled, and it's all a matter of how we bring it through our systems and what our beliefs are as that unique blueprint, and how we choose to embody that, how we choose to embody it and what our intentions are going forward. So if that really speaks to somebody, the technology piece of it, that's their that's their path, that's their purpose, I guess. I'm more organic. I like to think that we have this command over our quantum universe consciousness without the technology. That's me. That's my, I don't know, maybe wishful thinking, or maybe not. I don't know. It isn't if I create it. It's my reality. I create it the way I want. But I think we have to be realistic with everything, all the technology that is coming in, and the metaverse and all these other things that are being created with artificial intelligence that's not organic. We just have to be aware of it, because again, we create a reality. So if we're bringing it into our reality, are we gonna allow that to take over? I think Michael kind of said that. Are we gonna allow that to be us, or are we going to be something different? It's all choice, just like everything else in the world is a choice right now.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see.
Yeah, I know.
Sarah? Yeah, Sarah's going to go. I see her finger.
I was just going to say, I agree with Michael, and I agree with you too, Sherry. I really think it's all about perspective, and then what you allow as your own conscious being, how you run your programming yourself within you, and how you visualize or interpret your connection with source. I mean, it's really how do you view source? I view source as all incumbents of everything. So I think it's to each and everyone, it's probably their own perception, but I would say yes, and whether it's a positive or a negative, that again is your perspective.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. You know why? Because I drew this out before. I think I had some notes for the discussion and everything, and I drew this out before, and I was going to show this after I show a clip from that video. But I'm going to show it now because you just said this, and it's the perfect segue, Sarah. So you were just talking about which perspective you have, right? So we're all familiar with this, right? The yin yang, the yang. I was drawing this one as the digital, which would have the artificial intelligence or the transhumanism or nanobots or whatever. And then the one up the top, the light one, is the organics. And I'm calling us, like, say people have to have something injected into them, or some kind of something put in their bodies and added to their own blueprints in order to access these digital worlds or digital universes. If that's the case, including augmented reality glasses, the glasses that they're coming out with, the smart glasses and all, including those things, if you need that, then that would be considered digital. So that's one side of the polarized side. And then the light side would be the other side. So I'm going to call us the organics, because we are organic in other universes. It depends which universe we're talking about, because apparently in the Omniverse, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, but in the Omniverse, there's hundreds of thousands, if not infinity amount of worlds overlaid on top of each other in the digital world, all running different quantum computer simulations so that they can make a predictive model, figure out which way works best to add that into the metaverse or the Omniverse or whatever their ideal home base hub of the digital world would be, so that they can predict like which model would make you the most money, or which one would, which trade would be best. Is that how they were explaining it, Michael? Because
I'm holding on to these and I don't want to forget them. Real quick, back to the light. I think the reason why, like, Sherry, you were talking about how, like, you like to think we can create it. It is our universe. We created it with soul and organic. And I think that a lot of that is just because we've been held back for such a long time. I think we really would have figured out all of that. And I think once it's time to go, we're going to fly really fast. And the light, as far as the light, like we're all touching on it, it's everybody's individual thing. But that one light that we can all talk about that's the same is the wholeness and the unity, and how it might look different to you, it might feel different to you, but it's that same light that we created. So we're kind of like, yeah, I just wanted to touch on those things. But yeah, no, the Omniverse, sorry, I didn't want to lose those. Yeah, no, and you got it right with the Omniverse. It's just that it's going to be for real use cases too. So they're going to predict in the computers hundreds of thousands of quantum fast worlds, and then they're going to build it in the real world. So they can predict the future, predicting the weather. The second part on that video, he explains, because they know the stats of the ground. They know they can measure the seismic waves. They can tell where the stars are going to be. They know when the tides are coming. They can program hundreds of thousands of them to see what the best one that they would want to. So probabilities.
Yeah,
But
go ahead, Sherry.
if you do that, how much are you affecting reality going forward? I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Right?
You're talking about
affecting the reality.
minority report kind of stuff, like where there's no crime because you can predict it before it happens. But if it hasn't happened, see, then we get into a really, really sticky thing when you add that artificial intelligence, so super artificial intelligence into it.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, if you don't do the crime, you didn't do the crime. So it can predict all day long. They're just hypotheses. But when it comes to like math and stuff, like they can map it out and they can tell how, they can run hundreds of thousands of the worlds and see which one. And every day they're running hundreds, so they're keeping up with where we're at, how we're going, and what. So it's all of it they're going to plan on for the future, because everything. It's like we're now becoming 3D creators in a way. If you think of not like it's probably the right way or not, but if you think of it, we're literally what separates this virtual world from this virtual world? What's different about that hologram and this hologram? And that's what people need to pay attention to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to tap in on what you were just saying, Michael. It goes right back to perspective. And then, having that, if you can only afford the internet at home, chances are you're going to escape your reality by going into this Omniverse. You know what I mean? It's to check out. The same reason why people utilize tech now as it is, by watching Netflix, Gaia TV, the news, whatever. It depends on what it is that you are connecting with. Now, they're going to be able to pick on that and it's just like we want to run from the society, but you take your phone with you, they can still track you. Just saying.
Yeah.
So there's no running from it. As long as we carry the technology, they're always going to know what it is that we're doing, and they're going to connect. It's like buying a car or, being a salesman. You make the customer have a need for it, so they want to buy it. And that's what they're going to do. And they're going to get that information off of our patterns and behavior and what we're doing. So you have to use your discernment, and whether you're a sovereign being or not, to go towards that kind of technology, or if you even want to entertain it, or if you want to invest in it. It's all about choice and your perspective.
And
it can be a plus or it can be a negative.
Yeah, and it's all just coming fast. They want to put it right in front of your face. I mentioned before, where you'll be able to you'll be in the world and you'll go shopping at the mall, the Universe Mall, and then you'll see all the coolest clothes you've ever seen and in your life, never seen before. And you'll click on it and you'll be able to send it to your Amazon cart or whatever is integrated into the thing. Wow. So it's almost literally putting those impulse buys right in front of people's faces.
Quick question.
So it's all the same stuff we've been doing, and they're putting it all into this. Yeah.
Okay, so in the worlds that they're trying to create in this metaverse, you're saying it'll interact, because from what I understand, it will be interactive with the physical world, even though you may not own that. So you're saying if you buy something in the digital world, it wouldn't just stay in the digital world, that they can ship it to you in the physical? Because they're saying
eventually be that.
Eventually that'll happen. Yeah, because now the way they're posing it is if you buy a $500 Gucci bag in the metaverse, it stays in the metaverse. And
it all depends on the game. Yeah, it all just depends. I mean, if there's someone out there willing to make that dress, it's on its way to your house. So if it's in the metaverse and someone wants to make a job out in real life making these things, there you go. Start making what they're creating now in virtual reality. Now we have more creativity potential. Now we can make stuff in the real world.
Good
So
point.
it's
They also said that there's going to be more stuff created in the digital world, way more stuff created there than there already is in the physical world, which is interesting. So they separated. What I want to do, if you guys don't mind, first of all, hey, welcome everybody who's joining us live for this. Scotty Boy, That Way, Willow Pillow, Bev, you guys, all you guys who are here. Sorry if I missed your name and you're there in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and we'll get to it. But what I'm going to do is play a little bit of a video. It's about 6.5 minutes. So this is just one guy's opinion. I have a link in the description box if you want to watch the whole 35-minute video. But this just gives you an idea. And his perspective is very much, well, you can watch the video for that one yourself. But I'll play just a little bit of this. And if you guys can see that, let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the panel if you guys can hear it.
Oh.
Okay.
Can you hear it okay?
No. Turn up.
Everyone needs to really pay attention to.
Way
Hear
up.
that?
Yeah.
They're slowly introducing us into a new digital world that they are
Can
creating.
you turn it up a little bit, Linda?
Stuff that
Yeah,
look
black.
like that they
Okay.
spoke about in movies is really a reality.
That's
that
not
they
bad, no.
want us to be
All right, hang on. All right, try this.
a part of. And like everything else that they do, they are not preparing the masses by proper notification and education,
Can you hear it?
but they are not hiding it either. They have put the information out there for us. And like with everything else, it is up for us as individuals to do our own due diligence to understand and prepare. They introduced this whole thing under a backdrop of problems at Facebook with the whistleblower distraction and a whole attack on one of the most powerful tech companies in the world. They made the public believe that the announcement at Facebook was simply about them trying to save their brand from the bad engineered press they were receiving. Because if Facebook made this change without the backdrop of this whistleblower and being bad for children nonsense, as if these people really care, then more people would be asking questions. But what we have here is that one of the most powerful tech companies in the world that has 2.9 billion active users around the world, a company that knows more about each individual in the world than they ever should, is now changing their focus from social media to the metaverse. And the majority of the masses don't even question what is going on and what the metaverse is because of the distraction that was created for them a little beforehand. It was a perfect smokescreen. But for me, it's not something that can be ignored. And it also goes back into the overall picture and agenda I have been speaking on within this channel. So what is the metaverse? Let me cover that first.
The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the metaverse. And you're going to be able to do almost anything you can imagine. Get together with friends and family, work, learn, play, shop, create, as well as entirely new categories that don't really fit how we think about computers or phones today.
Well, maybe let me cover how I got here first. I was doing some research on NFTs because I heard how Tom Brady was making his football an NFT.
A lot of negotiations trying to get that. We got it back, so I got it back. There was a lot of negotiation in order to get the ball back.
Is the ball in Canton, or have you made it into an NFT? Talk about what the ball is.
It's shortly an NFT. You can autograph.io. You go there to bid on it. There's a lot of great things, auction items, memorabilia.
I couldn't understand what was happening because from what I understood, Tom Brady was going to be keeping the football.
Get it back, but I don't keep too many. I don't actually keep too many things. So, in that circumstance, I felt like that might be a good one to keep.
But through the NFT, he was going to sell it digitally. So someone anywhere else in the world could own the digital rights to it. That made no sense to me. I couldn't understand why someone would want to own something digitally they never would actually touch physically, but spend thousands to even millions of digital dollars for it. Again, I feel like I was being aged out. So I had to dig deeper. And from that digging, I stumbled into the metaverse. And right after I got a small foundation on it, then Mark Zuckerberg did his keynote and made the announcement about the name change and gave a massive amount of details along with it. I'll be using clips from the keynote to cover details he spoke on.
About 2 more minutes.
Rather than just focusing on this year's products like a normal keynote, we're going to talk about the future. So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people. Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually. It has things that are only possible virtually. And it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear.
I thought that was my phone.
All right, perfect.
Okay, so again, what is the metaverse? Very simply, it's a new digital universe, a digital world. It's the next era of the internet, which is projected to deliver a digital environment that is similar to real life. It's a whole new world that people around the world will be plugged into. The metaverse will exist in parallel to reality, allowing people to work, open businesses, socialize, communicate, and interact with one another in a fully immersive system of virtual destinations. Right now, all of us look at the internet through our phones, computers, and other devices. What the metaverse will do is move us into the internet. It is actually likened to living in the internet. Have you ever seen the movie Tron? That's what it's about. What you may want to say is, yeah, this is just virtual reality. There's no way people can live in the internet like in the movie Tron. But you need to gain understanding. It's very deep. It's much deeper than just virtual reality. You see, virtual reality headsets and hardware like that are just tools that assist people in plugging in. But when you add in the other pieces into place, like blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence, 5G internet, remote work, gaming, and online social activities, all these pieces will meet at one singular point to create a virtual universe in the form of what we will call the metaverse. People will live in an artificial, augmented reality.
That was it. Okay.
Yep.
You guys,
Yeah, I
so
was taking notes.
No.
so here's the
Never.
thing. So I don't know if anybody saw Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds at the movie, but he found the glasses. He was like an AI or a created thing. And did you guys see the movie Free Guy? And he found the glasses. He put them on. He got to see like what you were seeing there with Zuckerberg. And
Sorry, let me mute.
no, it's okay.
My neighbor. Oh, it won't let me mute. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. You're fine. See, it's warning us. It's the AI system warning us. Don't talk about it now. Well, I think they want people to talk about it. The thing is, like, look, when I was watching this, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Like, honestly, when we see in quantum with our spiritual eyes, I see that. I see the holograms. So, I see them within myself. Now, wouldn't it be cool to see it with my physical eyes on the outer reality? And that's what they're talking about doing. Everything's inside out here, remember? So if they're taking the inner world, the quantum world, where the organics are, right? And they're turning it on into the outside and they're making a digital, multi-dimensional reality. It's like they're trying to recreate something that's on the light side of what they're adding AI to on the dark side or transhumanism side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Can I say something? I just was. Did you have something, Linda?
No, please go ahead.
Okay.
I'm trying to turn the volume down because I had it up really loud there.
Oh, gotcha. I wrote notes because it was interesting. Is like the one thing that just really struck me was how they're going to be merging all of these different areas, right? The internet, your desires, cryptocurrency, blah, blah. And it's like, what is the outcome for people who really don't, I think you said it in the beginning, Michael, the outcome for people who really don't understand what can happen or what Facebook particular. I think that's the problem I have with it, is that we know the source, right? And we know what's happened before. So my question is, and what was coming through loud and clear was, there are people who don't understand what this is really about, who don't understand and don't have that sovereignty over themselves, like Sarah was talking about. And then you step into like, it's like they're not really creating the reality. The reality is being created for them based on their likes and the AI and all this information that Facebook has gathered and social media has gathered about us. And so now they're playing on your weaknesses. They're playing on your challenges. They're playing on, how can I pull you into this, your own inner world that's not really your inner world, because it's like, it's on the outside of you. Oh, I want this. And oh, I can have that. You can have, I think he even said in the video, you can have anything you want. You can have, and like, that was just like, I just wanted to be like, blah, like, you know, like, we know what you're doing, you know. I think it kind of, so that's my concern. It's like, let's just poke at you a little bit more. Okay, you know, they have a problem with shopping, or okay, they've got an addiction with this, or so their mom died last week because we saw it on social media. So now we're going to start, you know what I mean? Like things like that. It really could be nefarious. And that's my issue with all of it, because we know the source. So what's the source? The source is Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and all of big tech. And so that's, to me, that's like, you know, red flag. I don't know. That just really stood out to me.
Yeah.
And the video was great. I thought the video was really well done, Linda. That was,
Sherry, you make so many great points on this too. When you talk about it being on the outside of you as well, like that's how I see, you know, like technology. So like Sarah brought it up earlier, like when people are glued to their phone, it's technology. Yep. It's an extension of you. It's like, we know we can do telepathy and all these things. And of course, because humanity has been held back and cut off from all of, like, the pineal gland's been calcified and all these things have happened where we can't access the gifts, or we haven't been able to in the past. We rely on things like this, like the phone and the internet and all these things. Whereas we know we can do this ourselves within ourselves. We know our gifts are quantum and organic. And it's like, when we use an extension of ourselves without using it in the quantum at the same time, we're lowering our frequency so we can exist in that world.
Yes.
It's like a lower frequency band.
Cutting corners.
Yep.
Yes.
There's going to be people out there that don't want to put in the work, that don't want to go within, and they're going to go without. And those are the people that are probably going to be stuck on their couch and that aren't going to move, and the world is going to change around them, and they're not going to know, because they've been living under the shield of the tech.
Yeah.
And now, now you've disconnected from your physical body, which we're humans, we're here to balance the physical and the etheric and all those other things. And so now you've just, like, you could just see, I'm just seeing a slippery slope. I don't know. Like, it doesn't,
I think I agree within a lot of, it can go ugly left real quick. I think and it goes so deep as, you know, the frequencies that are coming through on our phone, the programming that they're, how do we know that there isn't some type of hidden agenda behind that will actually affect and damage us in the long end? I mean, I remember when music was such a big thing, when rap music was, you can't listen to rap, it's not good, it's bad for your health and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? It was a perspective. It's only bad if you let it be bad to you, and you go out and you do stupid stuff because you heard a song about it, or if you watched a program and they were stupid and jumped off a bridge, doesn't mean that you need to go and jump off a bridge. Just saying. It's really about choices and the perspective, and you have to have that self-control when to stop and disconnect.
Yeah.
And our kids, if we don't get control of our kids, it's not going to be necessarily this generation, it may be our kids.
Yeah.
So I've heard lots of stories about elite people who just refuse to allow their children to have access to free rent, to television, internet, tablets, watches, video games, all of it, because it's left field. It's up to you.
Yeah, take the game, what's that one game that nobody should play? Grand Theft Auto, that no child should play or have access to. And they say this all the time. And yet it's there, and they make it so rewarding with the dopamine hits. Just like if you're going to a casino, gambling, they make the sounds and the dopamine hit so much fun. Even if you bet 60 cents on something and you win 30 cents, you're still losing 30 cents, but they make you feel like you're a winner. Like they have people that have, I want to say gone to school for this, but they actually pay people in the gaming industry to, how can we increase the dopamine hit? How can we do this? I did a study back when I was in school on this, and they do that. They pay people to make it more addictive. So it's all about the addictive behaviors when you can't control yourself or watch yourself. But as a parent, you have to monitor your kids too. And it's really hard if you're sticking an iPhone in front of their face when they're 2 years old. I mean, they're going to want that. They're going to want to watch, be on the tablets and be on the internet. And if you have things set up for them, you have like an hour or whatever a day, or you have certain times where you watch certain shows that are educational, sure, it can be a great thing for them. But if you rely on it to be your babysitter or whatever, they're going to get conditioned to think that this is where they want to be when they're not feeling good about the real world.
Yeah.
It just goes south real fast.
Yeah, you guys all kind of touched on it, and it is a kind of like a double-edged sword, because no matter what, technology is always going to advance, and we're always going to be here, and it's always going to be up to us to make sure we do what's right in all situations, whether it's here or not. And it's definitely important to step away, but like you guys say, because eventually it's going to run parallel. So eventually, it can be a benefit. That guy who's sitting on the couch who isn't really doing, he might work his butt off in some game or some metaverse that earned him whatever item in the game, which somebody wants, and he can now sell and then actually get a whole bunch of real life money, which isn't necessarily better, right? Because now you're still stuck in there, and that's your income stream now. So it can be helpful in a lot of ways. It's going to expand our minds into huge, but we're not the create, you know what I mean? That's the whole concept of creation of life outside of it's already created. So if people don't understand, this is just technology. And if it's that mind blowing, imagine what else, you don't know, or what else the technology can do, but and that's all part of it. They keep us down. Most people are born, they don't know this kind of stuff. So, I mean, they're just going to keep pushing on it. If 1, 2, 3, 4 people wake up here, there, not an issue for them, right? They're just going to keep going with whoever still isn't. So all the same rules apply. Like for me, with my mom and grandparents getting raised, go outside, turn it off, all of that stuff. It's always has to be here no matter what, because come in, make $1 million. I love you, son. But now you don't ever have to play that ever again, because it's now it's be fun if it needs to be, because
I'm glad you went there, Michael, because it's when you're talking about make the money and get out, like it is like the gold rush right now. It's like the wild, wild west with cryptocurrencies and how they're tying it all together. If you can do that and not get sucked into like the black hole of it, then there's a lot of opportunity right now for sure. But also opportunity for what? It's opportunity to make money. And it's like, I still see us, and this is just me being, on spiritual high ground here. Sorry, but that's where it's going, because I see us trying to get past that point of money, and it's money is still of this world. And I know it's just energy. It's not good. It's not bad. I get all of that. I've been through and down this hole and around it and in it and whatever too long. And it's like, I see us trying to move to a place of getting to the place where we go beyond money, but we kind of need money to live. We kind of need money right now. If we don't want our car to get repoed, we have to make our car payments. So we need money. You might not need money to eat because there's food banks everywhere, and there's, stuff for people to have food with food stamps and all kinds of things. So you might not be starving. It might not be a basic need, but people have a basic need to be able to have like transportation or things. And you could take the bus, and I know I could go off on this one forever, but you want to move past the love of money, the worship of money. You want to get to a place where that money is a tool, and that it's neither good nor bad. It doesn't have a charge of like, oh my God, I'm not going to get my money this month. Like, what am I going to do? It's not like that. And I'm going to give a testimony one day. I've never given my testimony, but I'm going to give a pretty strong testimony not too long from now. Might even do it in December. We'll see. And there's just this whole big thing with money. You know, there's such a charge to it for so many people. And really, there's so many people that are in need right now. We do need the reset. Even if it's the bad guy reset, we still need some kind of debt forgiveness and reset. There's too many people that are suffering. So, you know, whether it's the good guy reset or the bad guy reset, we still need it. And we have this whole new cryptocurrency thing. But Michael, can you talk a little bit about the cryptocurrencies and that portion of it from what you know as far as the metaverse goes or the omniverse? Like, is the metaverse competing with the omniverse? Is it the same thing in your mind, or do you see it being like both of them want to be the main hub and they want to draw the other one to each other?
No, yeah. So the Omni is I think the Omni, from what the Omni is the one that's above. So Omni is going to be the bridge. It's going to be the rainbow bridge to all the other. That's the
digital,
whole,
the digital version of it.
rainbow, right? With the they'll have the colors. Don't worry about it. But that's what all the cryptocurrencies and the cross chain and all this stuff is coming. So that's why this whole movement is so early for people, and that's why it's hard to see it, and you know, all of these things. So there's something else that you touched on, but yeah, the meta is, I think, would be more localized, and it's just going to be like that. It's just kind of hierarchy, because then this way you can interact with people in other worlds. You can go to the other worlds. You won't even need to, there's going to be so many, you won't even need to end up going to them all. But this is why all of the cryptocurrencies are probably going to have a use, you know, like Dogecoin. They're going to make a Doge world. I'll bet you that's about $1, and then you're going to be able to go there and use the coins for that. But now if you can make something, and then you can make coins, and there, you know, it's all going to be that parallel that we're stepping into. So but
all right, when you guys saw the video that we just watched, and you saw like a man sitting there with a chess set that was holographic, and you saw a holographic person sitting there with him, he didn't have glasses on to see it. So he would be the organic, and the hologram person would be the digital person, right? So right now we might need when we first enter it and whatever, you might need glasses, or, you know, maybe there's something that you get that might attach you to a digital world of some sort within your brain where you won't need the glasses. But as we start heading towards these worlds, like right now, organic people, the organics, I'm going to say it over and over again. I want you guys to spread it and use that term everywhere you go. And everyone watching, please use that. The organics can walk between the two worlds right now. Like when we do our work and we go into that quantum state, we can see, feel, hear, and that what we would perceive as a holographic world, but it's more like light filaments. Yeah. So that what would be the Quantumverse would have light filaments, and the digital world would be more like coding. And the thing that's interesting between Sherry and Sarah and Michael, I want your opinion on this too. When you go into the quantum state and you do the work, when you see the grid work, do you see that as digital overlay, or do you see that as more like organic light overlay?
Organic light overlay. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
It depends.
I'm done now.
It depends what it's doing. Sometimes it gets focused. Sometimes it's a cloud. Sometimes I don't know. You know, it's a kind of, sometimes spins this way, spins that way.
We have a question over here from the comments that way saying everything is already paid for. Why must we pay for it again and again and again? That's a great question.
Yeah.
Anybody want to take that one?
Because we got controllers in real life. I mean, yeah, that's a good point though. When you talked about the dollars and the trap of getting the money, and I mean, it's going to be the same difference, only now, you know, it's all going to be just a chase online, and it's going to open up a whole new world for people to figure out ways to make money. So that's the silver lining, I guess. There's going to be a lot of creativity that's going to come from it. But yeah, Sarah, go for it.
For sure.
I just got somebody to leave the room with their dog. So my thing is, I wanted to touch back with what Michael was saying about the cryptocurrencies. I don't know if you guys were updated that El Salvador has now made their main currency crypto, Bitcoin. So I meant, and I anticipate a lot of places are going to go in this direction because they're going to see a significant change. Of course, there's a polarity, a positive and a negative. It depends on who you are and what kind of access and what kind of education you have. So my thing to you guys, the community, and look into it. Educate yourself before you purchase a coin. Go to someone like Michael, ask questions, watch his videos, educate yourself. There are people in the game that are good. There are people in the game that are bad. And it's up to you to decipher the difference.
Yep.
And invest. What do you have to lose? If you invest in stocks and bonds, or you buy a CD or a mutual bond, it's an investment. Everything is an investment, whether it's your money, your time, and they're both valuable. It's up to you.
Yeah, even a lotto ticket, some of these cryptos just as good as throwing $10 away on that thing, and then get a 0.0000 one that looks cute, and then maybe it'll I'll get 1 billion coins for $10, and then one day. But yeah, I can't remember what I wanted to touch on. But getting into cryptos, like understanding that, blockchain, that's why it's happening, whether the companies do this, do that, and a lot of people out there are already paid and bought for, they have most of the resources, if you will, and the money and the means. So a lot of this stuff, they just, the pump and dump schemes and all this kind of stuff that you definitely want to watch out for. But blockchain is just better. And so that's why it's happening. It doesn't have anything to do with, I don't want to say a global reset, but, since they know it's better and we're going that way, they're going to do everything they can. In the meantime, keep us not knowing, just, hey, get some from your bank and don't worry, they'll custodiate your coins for you, and then you're fine, so yeah, you got to get educated because we're moving into.
I have to tell you guys, like here in Los Angeles, I just found this out yesterday. We have the Staples Center, and the Staples Center is like the big venue where, all the big concerts are and shows. It's called the Staples Center, but very soon it's going to be called the Crypto.com Center. Crypto.com.
Where the Lakers play, right?
Where the Lakers play, is now. So if that's not a sign of the times, what's coming, that's huge. So I wouldn't
already sponsored soccer teams I know of. Crypto.com. Some guy who works at the store. He's like, yeah, my soccer team is, and I don't know which team. But yeah, it's all coming.
Yeah,
I think some of these overlays, like we are waiting for the birth, where whether it's say 3 days of darkness or the flash of light or the sun doesn't set for 3 days or whatever, some kind of birth into the reality of light, organic light, multidimensional. See the holograms in front of you, and the holograms could be like a light being, a human luminous, an evolved being that's walking between the worlds, like what we're doing when we work. But to be able to see it in the physical, we have yet to see that world birthed yet. And that's the ascension that we've been working towards. We've seen, and all the people in our spiritual community see it that way. And I feel like they're trying to create a digital ascension so that they're overlaying with multi-dimensions so that they can, everything that made sense to you as a soul who would be triggered by, your inner blueprints to hit the ascension with certain trigger words. They're using it in the opposite inside out version to try to create this digital ascension. And, it's like, I think we just need to hold tight, every time we collide with, more people that are like-minded, high vibration, like our pod of 4 people right here is actually extended into a super pod of the people that are watching as well, that agree with us in the vision. They don't have to if they're watching it. That's what's great about free will, right? But the people that are agreeing with this, it's like creating this quantum pod of 7D or higher plasmic energy, and it's lighting up the grids. So like with the quantum eyes, when you look in and see that, if we were to go into work and transmissions right now, we would see like a pretty good sized pod in the Quantumverse. And it's almost like it takes, Sherry and Michael where you are out there, and Sarah where you are, and where I am across the States, if it folded all of us in on top of each other, it's like bending one of the grids to have all of our lights come together to create its own perfect little pod of light. And that's one of the neat things about, I would say, quantum traveling or quantum locating ourselves. We can change our locations to be connected to other people. And when I see cells of a new reality, I see a bunch of people when they get together in their spiritual communities together. And if they do it in the physical, even more powerful. Like we want to have a spiritual community. We get the land, we come together, we do our work. The amount of light that we create does not allow lower vibrations to come in. So it's almost like if you look at that overlay as like a clear day versus a cloudy day, you know, the cloudy would be like the lower 3D, 4D, kind of 5D, lower 6D vibrations. And like the sunny day would be the 7D and higher. So it would be past the halls of Amenti, starting with the 7th dimensional frequencies. So that's your sunny day. And I know it's not a light switch. I know that there's a whole bunch of layers in between leading up to, but there's certain bands that have that, like your aura. It has a certain, what do you call it? Like a shell or something that holds it all together in your consciousness. So like if something hits your field, you can feel it. You know what I mean? So there's certain bands that sort of separate each density or dimension, if you want to call it that. I don't know where I'm going with this now. I just lost my train of thought.
I want to say it made me think of a membrane. Like
Yes,
kinda
that's what I was
that-
thinking.
Yeah.
That's the word I was thinking.
yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
And you know, and you started out when you were saying, what was it about how they're trying to create that artificial, and that's the thing is it's, you know, oh, this new world's going to be so much better. No, it's not, because you're still addicted to stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not any more better now than it ever will be. And if you, and because the idea, like they have technology on the light side in the higher dimensions. You know, you think you're worried about a 3D virtual reality, just put it down in the send instead and watch what happens. I mean, like, you know, it's the same thing. So it's so much better. It's so much better that way. Organics, you know, and that's go outside. So I think that's just where I'm going back with that.
That's
Think of
but
Neo.
that's our control too. That's the piece you're talking about, like to have that free will to be able to, because when you're in that digital reality, you don't really have that free will because you're being bombarded with it. You can't make those choices. Those choices are being made for you. And you know,
you have a choice, but
Right.
it's paper or plastic. Oh,
right.
so I have to pick one of those. Okay,
Right.
well, it's not your choice, really. It's what
Right.
you're presented with. So, but that's why it's important, right, to really fully understand and grasp all of this, because if they can run it, we can run it too, you know, and that's really what you can do with the whole idea of owning cryptocurrencies and stuff. Like the Travis Scott, not the most recent concert, but there was one about a year ago where he had a virtual concert in a VR world, and he had
Right.
47, was it in the video? I think
It
47
was
million
it was a
people,
ridiculous
and the Super Bowl
20
had
to 40
12
some million.
yeah, 12, it was almost tripled the amount of people. So the money, and so the idea of like running these network, you know, if you guys can get just a little piece of that pie, now every time Travis has a concert on the Ethereum network or whatever, you know, you'll get paid. So, you know, in order
But you know, the funny thing is that concert, it wasn't even his actual body. It was an avatar of his body,
he
guys.
probably didn't do
You
anything.
paid for the cartoon. They paid for the cartoon version of a concert that may have not even been live actually at the time. You got to see the cartoon.
Wow.
It's a perspective. It's a, you know, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to spend? Personally, don't sleep on the crypto. Get educated, guys. I think it's important.
Yeah. Well, I think
But
too
it's
the programming, getting everybody ready for this. Maya White Sparks had made a comment about stop saying where we are going. You're absolutely right. It's already here. They've already been overlaying. We're already overlaid with digital worlds. It's simultaneous and it is happening concurrently, and they're already doing this. So you're absolutely right with that comment. And we're not going with Zuckerberg's either, but you know, that's one metaverse, you know, and we have this whole potentiality within ourselves for the multiple dimensions. So we're calling that the Quantumverse. I haven't seen that anywhere, and I actually did a little bit of research to see if there was such a thing as a Quantumverse, and there was, but it was bought out by a company by the name of AML Right Source, and they are a leading outsourced provider of anti-money laundering. That's AML. Know Your Customer and Bank Secrecy Act compliance solutions. And so they acquired the Quantumverse. So it sounds on paper like it's good. I haven't had enough time to do enough research into it to tell you whether it's like a great company or whether it was like another one of those buyouts. But here's the thing. When we talk about Sarah and Michael, or Sarah, Sherry, you guys were mentioning how they're priming people or getting them ready, or watch your kids, it's up to you. The thing is, everybody who used Snapchat, when they first had the filters, you could stick your tongue out and then you'd see a dog's tongue come out, or you see little ears and all those filters. They're already prepping people and preparing them to get used to avatars. And in this whole thing that's happened during 2020, everybody got used to remote viewing and being more digital and that kind of thing. So it's almost like they're on a quick schedule, but people can see it now because it's happened so fast. It was all sped up. So people can see what's going on with the process. And those that can't, that really want to be in that world, in that universe, they have every right with their free will choice, just like you have a right with a free will choice to get this or not. Everybody has that choice to make. And if it is something that could be like, if you have gambling or other addiction problems, you may not want to buy those augmented reality glasses. But if you've seen Free Guy, if you want to get a pair of glasses to put on and off, it's no different than having a cell phone that you can choose when or not to use that technology. But if you're stuck in that and you get addicted to it and you keep going into that world more than your real world, more than creating the beautiful light world that we're here to create in the Quantumverse, if you're doing the augmented reality with the digital more, then it might be time to put those glasses down, or take a social media detox, or put the tech down and start meditating again, so we can see, what type of world we're supposed to be birthing here. And we wouldn't have these blueprints and these triggers and these alarms and bells going off saying, okay, it's something big is coming. Now, like, we feel it inside. We feel it with everything. And I'm going to ask you guys, what are you feeling about what's coming? And I don't want to offend anybody by saying what's coming, but the birth, the light, the washover of light, that's what I'm looking to see, if you guys feel like that's on its way again. Yeah, go ahead.
That's perfect. No, you're so
I'm on tonight. I'm on a tangent.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm trying to remember what to say. It's not about it's the transition into, it's been talked about before, you as a unit of energy. That's why it's going to be where, there's all this kind of funky, weird stuff where they got body suits, and then your movement charges the battery, and then you make energy and it goes on the blockchain, and then you actually get paid just for walking around and all kinds of things like this. But the idea that we've been in a system where it's labor value, it's the value of the labor. We're moving into now, you and us energetically, our attention is going to be the value. So that's the whole key point. I think that kind of sums up what we're sort of talking about, is the responsibility that you have to have. It's more important than ever to choose to take care of your body and your mind and all of these things, and do what you have to do, and go away from the TV screen when you need to, because they're gonna run your energy. When you're in a virtual world, 5G. So if you put on glasses and there's a virtual world and you can see that, that means that there's holograms and cameras all over the place seeing where you're at, and so all of this is, so it's more important than ever than, taking your light back. And I think that's really what's happening, but it's going to affect people in different ways. As the light increases, the darker will just sort of seem to get darker, if you will, but if they don't see it. So I think while the light's here, there's just a lot of scenarios, that could play out. And being the creators that we are, if you don't choose your own creation instead of some other world's creation, I think that's where I think that's anything that happens with the light or a download, when people don't know what it is or what it's for or what's happening to their body. It's just lack of information. And so getting educated in all of these ways is always, knowledge is power. And so,
yeah, I got a hit the other day and I was out of town, and I got a hit that they already like, and I know they have cameras and different things to see ectoplasm. And you know, ectoplasm is like what you would call a ghost. The consciousness of a ghost would be called ectoplasm. So they can already see in multiple dimensions. We know if you hit Google and say, how many dimensions does the human brain work in? We know it's 11. It can create structures in that. And we also know that people are born and they've already shown that they've mapped in the brain area that some people can go, oh, there's MRIs. They can tell which dimensions your brains work into. That some kids born now are born with 3 strands of DNA. So they're starting to come out with the things that we've been talking about in the spiritual community, and it's been talked about for a long time. So as we see these things start to develop, I think, you know, it's important to just remember that we are here to express our own divine blueprints and get our information from within. And the information that came to me was that the certain place that I was at, the cameras could see the dimensional frequencies of the sacred geometries around my body. I was being told that. Now I have my security set up at 7D and higher. And I was being told that they could see the energy. And I was like, okay, great. You know, like I feel like this digital overlay world, this metaverse already exists. They're already using it. And they can see and tell like they can tell which star system you're from. Like they can tell the tags that go above your head that say whether you've had this or not, or whether you've, you know, whether you're dehydrated or not. Like I think it's already here and we just don't know it because they haven't told us that.
Yeah,
But
if you're
that's what my
hearing
internal
about it,
guidance told me.
yeah. They say, just in general, they say if you're hearing about it now, they've probably been talking about it for 30 years or 20 years or something like that easily. Because yeah, we got a whole lot more too with the technology that's been suppressed. Oh yeah. The way from my understanding, right, is that so the bad guys and, you know, they with the good guys and over this place, right? So literally everything in this place, you know, they're definitely not just like 4D messing around with 3D, you know what I mean? Like
No, it's more than that.
there's
For
way
sure.
more. Right. Because we wouldn't be so unknown, you know, if it was that, we'd see it. It'd be easy to, you know, find it, point it out.
So this world's already overlaid. We've got a boom going on. If you're not into cryptocurrency yet, like Sherry was saying earlier, Michael, no, that way. Michael.
I'll see it.
Yep, she's pointing. Sherry, just point to your corner. Yeah, she's got.
Yeah, they're easy. They're just.
As a matter of fact, let me do this because I've got a banner for Michael. Michael is actually going to be tonight, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So in about half an hour,
yeah.
Michael over on his channel is going to be answering questions. If you got questions about cryptocurrency, he likes to go through the news and do live. His videos are very informative and you can learn a lot just having his soothing voice playing in the background, and you can ask him any questions that you want. So I want to point that out. Guys, I don't know how you guys are feeling about transmissions or anything, but I really feel like tonight I'm just, I'm at a place where I just really was happy doing this discussion and coming back on here. And Are you okay? You're good. You're okay with that.
Yeah, we did this is the work, you know, this is us getting together and
yeah. And then tomorrow night, if you guys are really interested in join Sherry and I over on Sherry's channel for Soul Sister Speak. We've been talking about the universal laws, right, Sherry? The 12 universal laws.
Yep.
And what's the next one? We're on week 3 for that, right?
Yes, I don't know.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's I just looked it up.
Yeah,
I just looked
you know
it up.
what?
It's
Probably
the law of action.
Okay, well, I was going to say divine masculine, feminine, but yeah, that's Sounds
well, whatever it is, you'll put it on there and we'll discuss it.
Well, we talked about the law of vibration last week, right? And the law of oneness before that. So if you haven't watched those, you can catch up.
Yes.
On my channel, they're already up there, and then so we'll do the law of action tomorrow.
It'll be fun, and we do transmissions over there, and we'll be ready for that too. So, also, Sherry and I have been doing. We've been working on a course for you guys, and we've been asked a lot about our quantum signature healing, which we do usually on the 144 and Sherry's channel, but we've taken a break for about a month here, and the transmissions will continue tomorrow night, like I just said. But Sherry and I opened our first class up, and we're just finishing up. Everyone's going to be graduating this Tuesday. So if you're a student of ours, thank you for taking our flagship course. And we're really, really proud of the work. We've been building it as we're doing it. So we're living it as we're teaching it. We're actually experiencing things and up-leveling our own wisdom as we're doing this. And it's been incredible. The synchronicities have been amazing.
Yeah.
So we're going to be running the course again starting January 4th. If you're hearing this now and you're a student and you really got something out of the class, would you please send some kind of testimonial to us so that we can put that out in our promotional materials?
I'm actually I'm going to be doing a survey to send out through mail.
Oh, perfect.
I forgot to tell you. Yeah, if that's okay.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that. And if you think there's somebody that might benefit from the course that you might want to share it with, please do. And that really helps us continue doing the work that we're doing for you guys. And thank you for doing that in advance. And I'm just going to show this really quick because, I've been cut off of YouTube before, and I just filled out a really long survey for them, letting them know that watch time is not supposed to go backwards. Okay. So I have, for the last 2 months, been documenting weekly what my watch time is, and it's going down. It's not going up. So you've probably seen some of my posts for that, but I might be moving to another platform as well. So I will let you guys know by the end of the year what I'm going to decide to do with that. And I just don't want to have to be worried every time. I thought by now I'd be able to have some kind of income or something going on with YouTube, being the partner program. And the watch time just keeps going back. And, I can't work like that. I can't support, I can't give my energy and my time. And you know what? It's okay. If I have to rebuild on another platform, I'll do it. And I'll let you guys have plenty of notice to know. And maybe I'll just keep the channel for quick updates to let you know when I put videos up elsewhere. So
yeah, I think we're all going to be moving in that direction, or at least a lot of the certain communities out there. We're all going to have to, and it's for the better, we don't.
Yeah.
We just got to. There's not as many people. I think that's just the reach. We don't. How many? Even when I watch something, I'm not watching it usually on other channels. It's YouTube, Facebook. So I think they're good for like avenues. For all of us, but. Definitely finding our home. That's all of us finding our homes.
I think there's going to be a whole nother social media platform coming out in early 2022. I think in February is what I heard. And I think that is going to get to the truth of everything. Intended pun there.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be up and on that one. But all right, you guys, any final thoughts or words you'd like to go around and give any final goodbyes or thoughts? Or
be the love that you want to see in the world. That's it.
Yay,
be your own reflection.
Water.
Smart. Drink lots of water.
Drink lots of water. Good tip. I love it.
Yeah, and just remember who you are. This is really all. It's just such a point of choice right now. Everything is such a choice. And if you want to continue living organically and in your gifts and creating this beautiful world that we're all working towards, we just have to, we really have to remember who we are. So
I love that. And that way said, can't we just share our gifts and our talents? Yes. We want to get to that place in life where that's what we're doing, is just creating and sharing and blessing everywhere we go. And you know what? You can do that right now. You don't have to wait for that to come. You can do it right now. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Roundtable team, Michael, Sarah, Sherry. I love you guys so much. Just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.